Alrighty. Hi folks. So in today's stream we are going to pick up these items. Some of these items I think we did make some progress on the TUI yesterday, but it feels there is still a lot more work left there, so I think we can address some of it today. But I do want to handle these two things first, and then we'll get to this part. And maybe also do the chat log maintenance as well. So yeah, let's start there. So this was called skipbot, right? Yeah, and there seems to be a change that I haven't committed. Okay, we have basically just removed a wait group, that's all. Okay, so let's start this up just to see if everything is working as expected. Let's go run main.go. Yeah, so as you see, it immediately shows these messages, and then also I can send messages to the chat. Right, yeah, it does work so far, although it's very limited in its scope currently, but yeah, I think it does what was expected, at least at that time. Now let's parse these messages, because I don't want any of this garbage. The messages that are coming in are not really what we want them to be, right? So currently it has no messages, right? So if I do say a bytes ls, right, so on this one I'll get a response back, I think, on the terminal, I guess. Oh, okay, this won't work because the bytes app is not running, so let's start that as well. So that would be bytes, not bots, bytes, and then do npm run listener. So once this starts, we can run this additional command. Okay, this requires environment variables as well. So this should be up any moment. Yeah, it's up. So now let's try again. So let's try bytes ls, and yeah, we get a response back, right? So the way the kind of response it looks like is we get a private message on this channel, and it's, yeah, this is pretty much the detail, right? Doesn't tell us what user sent it, right? Because the channel name is the same, my user is same, the bot is same, so for me it's a bit difficult to distinguish. I don't think there's anybody in the chat who could send a message. No, I don't think so. So it's going to be difficult to figure it out, but let's look at the API. Yeah, so let's look at the getting started first. I think the messages were there. So this is the auth part, or the logging in part, and then okay, this doesn't have it. Let's look at guide in that case then. Yeah, so this is connection, this is how you sort of join the chat. There's reconnecting, which is something we also have to address, and then we have, do we have private messages? Yeah, we have private messages, right? So this is the user, I think, and then this is a private message, this is a channel, right? So okay, the tricky, I think we can, because we are getting the whole response, we can parse it in that way that we get this part. I'm not sure what this and this is, and then we get this whole bit. So yeah, so skip note, and then I think this is just the ad would be probably the channel, and so on, right? So I think let's figure that out. Let's parse this. These would be just chat messages, and then Yeah, let me send something from this chat. So let's say I send in bytes. Yeah, so when we have to sort of parse out messages and then figure out like whether it's a command or a normal message. Okay, so let's do that. Actually, let's have this running and then figure it out in a different window. So let's do a tmux session, right? Let's do a go run main.go, and in here I'll just open up the main and let's get the message from here, right? So let's copy a message. So where's our cursor? We'll just copy this line. Let's just paste it here, maybe. Okay, so this is what a message would look like. It will have a username, so it's basically like username bank user name, I think, at channel.tmi .twitch.tv, and then we have this string called private message. Then we have hash skip note, which is actually a hash channel. Then we have a space colon, and then we have a message here. So the bits we are interested in are like there will be two groups, this group and this group. I think this is what we require as of now, before we sort of move on to other things, before we ask for more details in this case. Just a second. Yeah, is this not required? Can we get rid of it? I think we can. What's up with this? Okay, I can look into it in a bit, but let's get this message right. So we have to write a regex against this, right? That's one thing. So let's see how we can write the regex. We did this on the collage project, right? I don't completely remember, so let's just refer to that. Yeah, I think like the way we were doing it is like this could be a regex, and then we have a download package, I think, somewhere. Yeah, in here we are just using or executing the regex, so that is something we have to look into. Let me sit closer to the mic. Okay, so we do a compile and then we do a find all submatches. Okay, why do we do a submatches, all submatches? Okay, this is on a lot of HTML. Okay, that's the case. So we get a submatch, so we can do a find submatch, and yeah, let's see it from there, right? So so what our regex looks like is our regex in our case looks like something like a colon plus dot plus or dot star in this case, and then there would be a bank, and then I think like we can just hard code this bit. Yeah, I'm not sure about the first skip note, but yeah, let's go ahead with this. So this is tmi.twitch.tv private msg space hash skip note dot colon, and then there is dot star. I think, yeah, these two groups we are interested in. So let's try this out. Yeah, I think we can then do a how do we do it, like regex p dot compile regex, something like this. This gives us back a regex to execute, right? So we'll do REERR. Alright, first we'll do an error handling. So we'll do like if error is not equal to nil, we'll do like fmt or log.fatal ln, I think, failed to compile the regex, and then we on the regex we basically call find all submatch. I think let's do all for now. And this doesn't take any arguments, I guess. Oh, it does. Basically on what to run this. So this would be message, and then the other would be to be fair, like I don't recall what this n is. I think it's like number of matches, maybe. If n is less than or less than 0, then length of b, which is the text we send, plus 1 is equal to n. So how does that help? And this also takes in bytes rather than a string, which is okay. What are we doing with this n? We are not returning it back. We do all matches here. We provided a function. That's it really. Let's look at all match. All matches takes in an n here. Yeah, I don't want to figure this out right now, so let's just convert it into a byte slice. Right, what's the issue now? Too few arguments for find all submatches. Okay, so let's make it 200. I don't know, like this should do something. Then on find all submatches we get back, I think, the list of regex. Yeah, considering that, like maybe we can just do find all string, right? Find all string is a all version of find string. It returns a slice of all the successive matches. And what is submatches? Handle submatches is it returns slice of all the successive matches. The expression defined by all the let's try this, but then yeah, I think this takes in MSG and then it returns back message as well. It does require this additional parameter, but that's fine. As long as I can type, that's all right. So it would be result. Alright, let's get rid of this one and then do fmt.println result. The only issue here is that it's printing to text view, and I don't want text view to be involved. But yeah, I think like we can't print to text view, right? That's the problem here. How about yeah, we don't do this. Yeah, this is going to be tough to sort of comment out everything, but yeah, let's do it. Let's comment this out. Let's comment this thing out. A couple of things from here and here. We will want the wait group back because there's nothing blocking the main from exiting. So let's add that back. I think it's all good here. Let's run the application. So this is against the messages that we immediately get when we log into chat. So this is good, like it shouldn't match anything there. Now if I type in a message, hey, yeah, you see I get this back, which is difficult to make sense of. Yeah, okay. This is giving me back, I'm not sure like whether the regex is working or not. Let's try it out here. I think it's fine, but yeah. So in our main.go, the regex we used is this one. think it's, no, this is not the one. Yeah, this is correct. And then we can grab the piece of text that we'll get. So okay, let's try it out here. Yeah, it seems fine. What are the matches that we get? So okay, group 1, it says, like, does it not show us the groups on what the result is? It says no match found. Oh, this is not right? This should be, no, this is the same thing, like we are just printing over the regex. So this should be, yeah, it should have worked. Yeah, this is fine. So if I now try this out, so the first group is skip note and the second group is hey, right? So like else I can add to this, right? So this is what we want, like we want the first group and the second group, which is good. So let's see, like if we are printing out the right thing, we are printing out the results. Let's do len of results, or maybe because we are just passing in one message at a time, we can do like fmt.println, or not this, not even this. We'll just do like for v iv range over result, and then print out the value of I think like we should do index as well. That will sort of help us keep a track of which message this is. So this will be printf, this will be %s, %d, %s, and then these parameters would be I and v, right? So if we run this, we'll go run main.go. So why isn't it? Okay, I think like it's, so far it's not finding any matches, and that's why there's no loop over the range. And if I do a chart, so this is what I get. I think like it was fine until I forgot to add a line break, right? So let's go ahead and add that. That would be somewhere on line 47. So let's just add a feed here. Let's do that again. Okay, one, it's not printing the index or any of those values, which is weird, and two, it's still not adding the line break. So the problem is still here. What did I miss? Are we doing fmt somewhere else? No. This to me looks fine. There's no arrow as such. There's just, we're doing I and v, right? So this looks fine. I would be the integer, this would be the string. That all looks fine to me. Although this says like it's a, here it is also a string of arrays. Oh, okay. Do I need a double loop in that case? But why would it be a nested array? I think let's do this. I'm overcomplicating it for no reason. I think all we want is just this thing. I think in this case we would be a string now. Yeah, this is what we want. So let's start this. Yeah, let's put in hey. Okay, I'm not sure if the, yeah, it's standard in isn't tied up currently, so that wouldn't work. Let's try now. Yeah, you see, we get the first matches as the username, the second match is the message. So this looks good. Now how do we make sure Like, do we do a length check? That doesn't seem clean enough, but let's see. If we do we can do like if result len of result. Why doesn't result autocomplete? If len of result is equal to 3, in that case do all of this, otherwise don't. Yeah, so, and for that matter we don't even need d. We could just do, how about we just, I think like there should be a better way to manage it. Like we can do a pipeline, channel pipeline. A channel pipeline makes sense here, so that like the channel pipeline will clean up the messages before we get them back at the sort of, before we read them off of the channel, right? Like, because right now what we are doing is we are just reading channels of the message channel, but it shouldn't happen immediately. It should sort of go to the other channel first. So let's create a package. We'll call it parser.go. All right, let's open it here. Do a package parser. Let's make this big. So what we want to take to parser is basically everything that's here in this go routine. I think we can just copy it over for now. Do a parser, paste this over here. We'll just call it a parser function for now. So it will be func parser, and then move this. Okay. Just close this up without pasting it. Right. So what parser would take in is a channel, right? So it will take in a read-only channel of string, I assume. No, string won't be, yeah, string is fine, right? Like because we are using the message channel, and we'll call it message chan, and then it will also return a read-only string. Right, so we can do like a make chan of string, and this would be parse chan, right? Something like this, and then we'll just return it at the very bottom. So yeah, this is fine. I'm not sure why this is complaining. Undeclared namespace, declared name messages chan. Okay, so this has to be messages chan. Yeah, I think that is one error, and then the other is that is declared but not used. Okay, that's fine. So do we need to range on this? I don't think we need to range on this. We just sort of build a string, put it on the messages channel, I think, like or the parse channel rather, right? So the way it would work is we'll do a fmt.sprintf to build this string. The string would look like %s colon space %s, right? Like this can be as simple as this. So this would be result 1 comma result 2. I think this is fine. I would rather build a struct out of this, but that should be okay for now. And this is complaining about it's called but not used here. We'll assign it to directly to, I think we'll put the values on parse_chan. You don't need to assign and then move the values, right? So this is looking fine. Yeah. How about we just use this? in here. So we'll do your message generate, but we'll have like a parser do parser dot parser. I think it shouldn't be parser dot parser, it should be rather, okay, let's make it it should be parser dot parse at least. This would be parser dot parse, and then to this we pass the messages chan, right? And in return we get back the parsed chan, right? So we use this parse chan instead of messages chan here, and we don't need to do any of this because this is already handled. So all we do is we just get the message from it and put it on the text view, and we'll just uncomment everything related to the TUI application. That should be it. So we define a text view here, and we uncomment the input and the flex and all of that here at the very bottom. So hopefully we should have everything here. Now let's just go ahead and start the application. So currently it's not showing anything. Let me send a message across from here. You see it shows my name and then the chat message, so that is good. Right, and if I come back here and then type something like, let's do like bytes ls. Okay, we are missing a line feed, but yeah, you can see that okay, this should be okay, you can't see my finger here on the screen, but this bit should actually this should actually, like, if it's a bot, right, like it would have a different name and it's distinguishable, and then all it says is that basically, hey, skip note, here are all the bytes, tagging the user who invoked this command. So I think let's go ahead and then format the string better. We did a sprintf here, right? So let's add a line break over here, right? And let's restart this. Yeah, this thing doesn't exit properly. This is still a concern. I think we removed the code that handled the signal exit, but yeah, still a problem. And then the formatting of the terminal is all messed up. But starting it again once more. Yep. So if I do bytes ls, yeah, we get a message, this is fine, and then we do like a bytes random. Okay, so that is, I think, like logging the messages nicely, and if I have just a normal message like hey, yeah, this looks fine to me. So we are getting the messages here. You can send a message from here as well. I think it's good enough for now. Before we move on to our other items, I think we just need to sort of clean up things. So the parser is fine for what it's worth. The only difference that would be here is that we are not handling command messages. But before I do that, I think like let's maybe, yeah, let's go here and see like how can we distinguish command messages here, right? So command messages would look like something like bytes. Now this is not really able to pick this up. I think the reason for this is yeah, so if I remove bytes, this works fine. So we'll say if it's a bang or a dot, yeah, that is not helping, it seems. No. What if we say it's white spaces or other words? Any word. If we do like a pipe, yeah, this or this. So if I do like, but yeah, it immediately ends there. So we don't want to immediately, and we want it to include all of this. So what if we do like a question mark, right? Yeah, this is fine as well. And then on this bit, on this group, like if I click on this group, I check like if it has a prefix, right? So I think what we can do is, like, now that we have figured it out, let's clean up things and then sort of come back to it. So this we don't need, right? We don't need any of this. We don't need this either. Let's remove this. This is something I want to try out immediately after cleanup, so let's keep it there. The TUI part I completely want to move out to a different package, so let's see if we can do that. And yeah, that's all. We just get rid of the weight group here, right? So let's make this bigger. How can we move the TUI part out in a different package, right? So we create an application, we add some things to it. I think even if this is a function that takes in the channel, the parsed messages channel, I think that should be fine, right? So let's make another package called TUI/TUI.go. It's called package TUI. This will be called func build. Right, this is fine. And then in here it will take in parsed chan, which is a channel of string, a read-only channel. Is it a read-only? I think, yeah, I think it's a read-only. And it also requires a connection, which is a IO writer, I think, because we want to write to it. And then I think we'll figure out the rest of the things. So let's open main here. So what we want to do is start by doing this thing, creating an application, creating a text view, right? This GoFunc we'll add in a bit. Then we have input fields, a flex, and all of this. So let's copy this over as well. So all of this looks fine. The only thing we need to do is we just need to return app. Do we even need to return app? Yeah, we don't use it anywhere, so I don't think we need to return it. I think we can just call it at the very end, and that should be it. The only thing here is that we need this GoFunc to add values to the text view in the background. I can't do it at the very top because I think like at that time text view isn't defined. I'll do it immediately after the text view is defined. So it would look something like this. Right. So let's also move this comment over here. Right. One space is fine. Just give me a second. Hey, sorry for that. So I think we left off at yeah, we were trying to, I think like we moved everything to this 2e package, so there isn't much to be done in this case. I think we can just get rid of all of this. Yeah, this, and I think like all of this as well. So all we need to do now is just pull in 2e dot build 2e and then sort of pass it the parse gem. I think yeah, that should be it. I don't think it's throwing any errors. Oh no, it is too few arguments. Okay, yeah, because we need to pass or write messages to the IRC, right? So it does need a connection. So I think like that should be it. Let's try this out. Kill this. Okay, it's still not sort of closing properly, so we need to figure that out, that why doesn't the control C work as expected. But yeah, let's come to that in a second. So we'll run the application. Let's do bytes ls. If I send a message from here, yeah, it looks fine. So the 2 is working after the refactoring now. Okay, at times it exits properly. I'm not sure what the issue is. So yeah, now the other thing was like figuring out what are commands and what aren't, right? So we can go to the parser. In here, I think we should basically take the length, take the result, or not even that, right? I think this actually shouldn't be nested, so we can do like if result is not equal, length is not equal to 3, then we'll just return yeah, I don't think returning should create any problem, so we'll just return and then with the results we can do certain things, right? Like, so if we can do like if we can do like strings dot has prefix of or what's the signature for has prefix? Let's look at that. So it takes in a string and the prefix, so this would be in our case result 2, and then we'll check for a prefix. So this will basically, if it's a boolean, this will execute, right? So I'll say how do you want to deal with commands? Like, we want to deal with commands in a completely different way, but yeah, let's see. Okay, let's just do a like a message for now. So we'll do like fmt this could be, it can just select command, right? And that should be, I'm not sure like what to do exactly with it, but yeah, let's see. Command, and then we can probably do like a %s and print out the message, or rather result 2. Okay, yeah, I think this is fine. Let's go ahead and start the application again. Yeah, it throws this error that failed to read the message of the connection end of file. Okay, we'll have to figure this out. Maybe quickly, let's see. So if I go to the 2e, right, I'm not sure like how can we do this. I was thinking like maybe we just need to close the channels that are there, but let's try just handling this in a different way. So we'll do like go run main.go. Let's do bytes ls. Doesn't print anything on the screen. Okay, and how about this, like I do a hey from the chat, nothing comes up here. I think it's probably because of the control C signal. I think that ends up being blocking, but let's check that out. Let's see now. Let's do bytes ls. Yeah, nothing comes up still, so I don't think that is the problem. So what else did we change here? We went to the parser, we made some changes there, right? So if length of the result is not equal to 3, then return. I don't think we can return. Yeah, but that wouldn't help either. So because we can't return, I think let's do this. This is not JavaScript. Okay, so we go over here. Let's type bytes ls. Okay, this works. This doesn't say it's a command, but let's send a message from chat to this window. Yeah, it says a command here. Okay, so as long as I'm executing here, it can't, because it doesn't go through the parser. Basically it goes directly to the connection. So unless I explicitly do that, I don't think there's a lot of value in my messages from this terminal going through that. So we can probably skip it altogether. Yeah, okay. So moving on. Yeah, we are just parsing out the command, so I think like that's fine. Let's just go back and review our to-do list. So okay, yeah, this is, no, something is messed up. They should fix it. Yeah, we'll just comment this bit out. I don't see us using it immediately, so this is fine. If we go to our readme, we are somewhat parsing the messages, right? Let's handle the pong message, right? So let me close this one out. Let's open new one. We'll go run main.go, and let's wait for a pong message. I'm not sure like what it looks like, but we'll have to figure it out. So the way we will figure it out is, I think like it would be in parser only. I don't like that we are handling doing if conditions, and this is also running against, this is just filtering out private messages, right? It doesn't handle anything else. So this should be like this whole thing should be a check just for private messages. In fact, like I think this whole thing is just a check for private messages, right? But then there can be other messages as well, and we'll wait for that pong message to come in, hopefully soon. So how do we deal with that? I think like we'll figure it out once we get the message. There's some details here. Pong. Okay, so it's called Pong, right? Pong, and then TMI Twitch. So we were doing yeah, so it would be a Pong here, the whole thing. About every 5 minutes. Okay, so we'll have to wait for 5 minutes. It's a decently long time, but yeah, let's wait on that. Meanwhile, let's see like if we can do something else. I think let's do like maintaining a chat log. I wouldn't stop the server, but yeah, we'll keep it running. So let's go to the main. I think I'm wondering like what is the way we should store the messages. I think we should just store the messages as such, but that doesn't help either, right? Like because it's a lot of messages. I think we can just use the past channel and write to basically a file, right? A chat file. Okay. So how should we do it? Like I'm thinking like if there are 2 channels and actually 3 channels, so if one of the channel reads the value of the primary channel, then does the other one get values? I think that is something we'll have to try out. I'm not sure. So imagine there is we can do like a make channel of ints, right? This is our source, and then there can be so there's s sync 1 and there's sync 2, right? So these two we have, and then what we will do is I'll do a for I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. So this is a synchronous loop, and what we'll do is we'll put in values into source, right? So I would basically go into the source channel. Then what we want to do is we want to have 2 go routines that would listen in to the values, right? So let's make 2 go routines. We'll do like we'll make a function called func read values, and this will take a go routine, so which would be a channel of int. We'll call it source s, or rather this is a read-only channel, and then we'll just do a fmt.println. We can't do fmt, we'll have to range through the values, right? So if I do like for v range over s, and then sort of print out all those values. Typing in this is really difficult. t.println s, or rather this would be a v here, so we'll just print out the v. Format this. Alright, so far so good. I'm not sure why this is still complaining. Okay, it's just syntax highlighting thing, but then we will spin up to read values, pass it the source, right? Same thing, but okay, no, this is not what we want, right? Okay, what we want is we want to pass values into sync1. Okay, so we want another channel of int, right? So in that case what we do is we put values from source to sync. So this would be, this both can't be called s, right? So this would be si, and we are putting values from source to sync, and then we will do the same thing over here. We'll just do a for loop in this case. Range of si, and then yeah, we do fmt.println. So this is fine. Here we'll pass source and sync1, and similarly we'll do a sync2 as well. Okay, I think like this will have a problem where it sort of exits immediately, but then also like there are other issues, too many variables in range. Okay, yeah, this is not a slice or a array, so there is no need of underscore upfront. So that is one issue. And then there's an undefined v as well. This is on line 24. Okay, let's use x in this case. I'm not sure why this is undefined. X is undefined. How about now? Sync2 is declared but not used. Okay, that's true. So we go here. I think it again exits immediately. All deadlocks, go routines are asleep. So how about we add a sync dot wait group. We add to this, we add 2, and then we just wait here. We don't do a done or anything. Like we just do a wait, not a done. Should have imported. That's weird. Okay, so this would come in here. Sync package. Format that. Why does it say there's a deadlock? All go routines are asleep. So into the source we are putting in these values, and then we are doing a read value. I don't know. I think like we can probably just practically check it out in our case. So we'll get back to this example in a second. So what we want to do is we want to write messages. So how do we? Oh, okay. Also, I don't think this would. Okay, I think we have wasted a lot of time here. It won't write the messages because we are not parsing the ping message, so it won't really write it to the string. So okay, I think like it's good time to sort of have a something store messages. So we'll say write messages and write messages. What does that take in and how does that work? So this takes an IO reader and it reads strings out of it, and yeah, the only issue with this is I think like if we send it out a file, it won't write to it unless we close. But yeah, let's see. So if I do a os.create a file called chat.log, All right, this gives us back I think the file and error. So file and an error, this would be if error is not equal to nil, we'll do a log dot fatal ln with an error here, and then we'll just pass it to the file here. Now okay, it does need more parameters apparently. Yeah, it needs a source to read from, so that would be parse channel. Okay, now it requires a just a second, what are we expecting here? So it requires a IO reader. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I think like the this can be changed a bit, so this can be, rather than reading directly from, or actually yeah, let it be like this for now. So this would be, so the signature would look something like this: read from connection and write it to the file. So every message gets logged, right? Because we want the Pong messages and all of that. Until we handle those, we want to make sure that they are written somewhere. So now my only concern is let's first do a def f dot close. So if we do a new reader, we are reading these values, we are writing this to the value, to the, no, we don't want to write to connection first of all, right? Yeah, I think it's doing a very different thing. Let's see, like if write message isn't used anywhere, right? I think like yeah, I don't think it's used anywhere. So the problem with this is that it was used to write messages to the back to the IRC, but that doesn't really help us because we don't right now need it. So the way we want to write messages out is all of this is fine. I think the only thing here is this has to be, rather than the connection, this is the connection, this is the source. No, we are passing it the connection, then we are passing it the no, I think we have sort of have something wrong here. So we are passing it the connection and the file we want to write to, right? So from connection it should automatically read the values. I think we can just pass it, because like this would be redundant, we can just pass it the message and the file. So it will take in a messages chan, which is a read-only channel of strings, and then it will take a f, which is IO, or basically a writer, which is IO writer, right? So signature like this. So does the complaint go away here? What does the signature look like now? It says, yeah, it seems fine to me. Yeah, it's fine. So now it reads off of, I don't think we need a buffer at all, or we don't need to split on the buffer, because we just have a channel. So we can do like a message of a range of messages channel, and we get a message there, and then we just basically write to the IO writer, right? So we do a writer here, and this would be message. That makes it significantly simpler. Although that said, I think, does it really save does it really save asynchronously rather than, I want to see like what's the best way to write it, like piecemeal to a file rather than all in one go. Okay, there's something called sync. Issue with sync is flushes issue a flush to write to stable storage. I think like we have to issue a sync specifically. This is something we didn't know about, so let's go to write message. Yeah, this would be on here. Writer dot flush is not present. How about we check if the thing is there on the file? So maybe we can just change it from IO writer to something else. Can I do sync? Yeah, we can do sync. So I think like this would probably be something specific to files only, the syncing part. So we can probably change this to os.file, right? So a pointer to os.file for that matter. But let's also see like if we have alternatives. So there's a slice of bytes here. You can use io.utils write file. That's one way to do it. We have create file, os.create, and then close it, then write, again, write string. This was bytes, I think. Yeah, bytes. And then we do a sync over here, and the other ways new writer, write string. Okay, so buff.io is, I think it might make things simpler for us. So if I so ideally the buff.io should be created at the source and then passed around. And so if we do a if we do a buff.io dot new writer, we pass it the file, I guess. This gives us back a writer, right? Something like this, and then we pass it along. I think this signature would work because writer is IO writer, and then while we print out to the writer, we also do writer dot flush. No flush here as well. Oh, come on. I thought it would have it, so that then there's no point of doing like a IO writer. Even flush is here, but then I think like this is again bound to writer. What is the error buffers? IO writer is the case, right? So it implements IO writer. So this takes in an IO writer, but not every IO writer has to implement a flush, I guess. But let's run the application once before we go run main.go. Yeah, immediately throws an error saying that has no methods, IO writer has no flush. Okay, I think like let's just do let's not even worry about creating a buffer. Right, let's just do file here, go back here, we'll just say that we are taking in f, and this is pointer to os.file, right? And on a file we can call f dot Okay, we don't have flush. How is that possible? I thought we just had flush a moment back. Oh, it's sync. It's sync here. Sync would probably throw an error, right? We can handle it here. Okay, this looks fine. Let's try it out. So this starts the chat, right? Let's split on the side. Do we have a chat.log? We do have a chat.log, so we'll do a tail dash of chat.log. So we already have these messages, which is good. So if I send a message from chat, yeah, nothing gets added here. So this is what I was earlier worried about, that would pulling in messages into multiple channels work. Okay, this worked now, but you see, like, now this is not updating. And if I send a message again, yeah, I think that's the problem. Like, there's a conflict in who's pulling the message, and I don't think two channels can pull a message from a single channel. Sort of it wouldn't work out, right? So either we have to pull out the message and specifically pass the message. So the way I'm thinking is going to main. So we basically have parse message pulling the message from message chain, and also we have write message. So the way I'm thinking is, like, it should have a for loop, right? Like the same for loop that's used here, and then within this go func we pass messages down to here. So this would become just a string rather than a channel of strings. So how do we deal with that, right? Like okay, okay, how do we do this? I think we can just let's do this for message off of this channel, right? We do something like this, and then we just pass messages to these functions rather than channels, right? And then if we update these, okay, everything breaks with this, but yeah, I don't know what's a better way to do this. Does it complain that it's not even defined? Yeah. Okay, let's figure out the signature first. So we don't have a channel, right? We get rid of, I don't think we need to have either a function or a loop. I don't need a go function or a loop here, so I think this should do it. It should be called message rather than messages gen, this is resolved. The other one is write messages. I think this also doesn't need a channel. This would become something like this, right? And then we don't need these 2 bits. So yeah, we are printing out the message on the file, syncing it, and then if there's error we just do a log.fatal. The only issue we are facing is that this parse_chan is not available to the TUI. So what we'll do is we'll define it up above as so we'll do like var parse_chan is channel of string, I think, like that, something we can do, and we just remove this bit. Now this is complaining, saying that the value of type okay, so it has to be denoted with the direction of the channel as well, something like this. Yeah, this works. Hopefully there are no more issues. Yeah, let's now restart the application. So let's do tail-f. Okay, there was a ping, by the way, so at least we got the ping. Let's do a go run main.go. Hopefully both the channels should get both the applications should get the same message. It's called ping:/tmi twitch.tv. so let's copy this over so that I don't lose it later on. It's this one. Okay, so the application has started, but you see like the TUI is not running. So there you go, that's the first problem. So let's fix that. I think they should all be put in a go routine, and I think then it would probably work out. So let's try now. Let's kill this. Okay, apparently it won't let us stop the program, so let's do this again. Do a go run main.go. So it connected again. We have the TUI as well. So let me send a message ABC, and it should show on both the sides. It didn't show on either of them. That's not good. What did we miss? So we do a go routine. We loop over this. I think this looks fine. You take the messages. Let's do. Let's not worry about the TUI just yet. At least till we get the application working. Let's do a go run main.go. Okay, it exits immediately because it doesn't have wait groups, so that's fine. I think we can just do a fmt.scan line. This can be a good enough compromise, and there's an error as well. On this is not being used, right? So we can how about that? You are now being used. Okay, we are getting all these messages. That is fine. Let's put in ABC, and it should come in both the places, hopefully. Okay, ABC came in here, but not on the chat side. Okay, that is something now we can we'll have to debug. Let's first open the chat log once. I think it created a new chat log, but it doesn't have ABC either. No, it doesn't. So let's see. let's see if this thing is getting the message back or not. We are passing it here, the message, so it should get it, but yeah, let's validate that. Okay. Chat log should be empty now, so if we now run the application again, go run main.go, okay, it gets equally populated, and then if we send back a message, this one gets it, this one doesn't, which I don't get why. Am I writing it to it incorrectly? Like, I think sync is not working as we want it to work. So this is just writing one value at a time, so I think like it's removing everything else. Let's go to main. So here we are just sending a file, it's writing to this file. I don't think this go routine ever exits, so I think it should be fine. It does a write message. Do we get a write message? Yeah, we get all of these right. So, but there is no write for this thing, hey, as well. That is something we need to understand, that we are not doing it for hey at all, unless I miss something. So we have hey here. We did it for this message but not for private message. Is there something it has to do with read messages? Are we just reading specific messages? I don't think so. We are just reading messages, that's all. So this looks fine. We get a private message, we don't write that back though. So what if we send another message, hey? Nothing comes up here, right? Nothing came up here as well. That is weird. Test. No, bytes ls. Yeah, this sort of dies down. Doesn't pull in values. And yeah, there's some error here. Let's see. We can get more details. We don't. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm not sure what is happening, to be fair. We are reading messages of the messages chan, we are printing them here. I don't think we need the parse chan at all. I think that will create more problems right now, so let's just get rid of it. Alright, so we got rid of the parse chan because that is also taking our messages and consuming them before we can use them. I think no, that logic wouldn't apply because it's not directly pulling from the channel. So but yeah, still here we are writing down all the messages from the messages chan, right? So I think like this should at least print out the hey message. Yeah, all we do is like we just do like a line break, read messages on line break, and that's it. I want to look at write message as well once, on if we are messing up something. I think let's for a second remove the sync bit. I'm just trying out things here. Do a go run, but let's do before that a tail, or a yeah, let's do a tail -f on this file. run this. So this is all fine up till here, but as soon as I start sending messages, right, this breaks. Okay, now it's writing out messages here as well. You see, we get the same message here. So this is working up till here. Let's do like something from, okay, let's do bytes ls. What just happened here? Like, why does this look like this? Why is it completely broken? So it says bytes random not found. This is fine. We do like bytes random. Okay, this is also looking fine now. I'm not sure why it's saying like file truncated. Why is it truncating the file? But yeah, I think like the truncation part is fine. I think let's just see if all the other things continue to work. Like, does the parse chain work as expected if I add this back? Because just adding this, like just removing this earlier fixed the problem, right? So maybe it's related to this. So far so good. Let's see messages. I think like, yeah, parsing breaks this. Parsing does break this for some reason. So let's look at why that is the case. So parse chain will take in values, takes in the value before it can create a file, right? So but then what's the issue with that? Like, it does a copy by value, right? It doesn't do a reference. Yeah, it's probably a problem with something that parse does. What does parse take? Like, it just takes in a string from what I know. It takes in a string. How about we print a message here after it takes in a value? Go run. Yeah, nothing now. Right. So it's something up with passing the value to parse. Like, I'm not sure how that would break anything. This gives us back a channel, which is fine. Is that the problem, that we are getting a channel back and we are not doing something with it? How about this? We do a go func here. Right, so we put this this is like the main is a go func, then we have this go func, and then we loop, and then we create go funcs all over again. This is crazy, but yeah. And then also yeah, why don't we just Why don't we just do this, pass it a message. I think we can also like actually pass it a channel and then it can put values there, but okay, how about we do this and then see like if it doesn't block, then we can handle all the things it requires. So do a pkill, do a tail, and then run the application again. Right, so now if I send a message, yeah, it's probably the Go channel that was blocking it, right? So yeah, get to learn a little bit every time. That's good. Okay, let's do white cell is, yeah, everything is working. Now I think we can I think what we can do is we can create a channel here. So rather than doing this, I think we can do is make a channel of string, right? And then just pass it to parse message. This will take in the parse channel, right? It doesn't need to return anything anymore because it's taking in the channel. Right, and then it sort of puts those values on that channel. It doesn't even need to return it. Alright, that is the good thing about it. So yeah, I think that is all right. What else can we do here? I think this is good. And then this TUI builder will take in the parse channel, right? So I think with that we can try it out again. We can do like pkill, go over here, let me kill this pane and then start one more. Yeah, so do a let's do a tail dash up on this one, do a go run main.go on this one. Okay, this breaks immediately. The parser has some problems with something on line 23. Is it missing a closing paren? It's funny it didn't tell us that earlier, but okay. Let's start this. I think we are printing out too many messages, but let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it got here, but it didn't come here. That is one of the problems. I think like parsed is also throwing errors again now. Okay, and then this is all broken, right? So let's fix this out. So let's go to main.go. So let's remove this line to start with. I'm not sure if read message is printing anything on the standard in or rather standard out. Let's start this again, but let's do tail first. So let's run this. Okay, I'm not sure why we are still seeing these messages. I think we need to go to main. The parse channel is not parsing correctly. That seems to be the problem because it's picking up those same messages. right? Why is that the case? So this takes in these value, it applies this regex on it, and then does a find string and all of this, and then eventually puts this on the channel. So what this we do, like right, and then put the past chan pay, we will put this past value, and we'll also for our sake just print out the past messages. Okay, let's try this out. Probably do this. This will save us some time. Okay, yeah, again it's bringing in these messages. What if there is a message that comes in? So I'll say hello. Parsed message doesn't log at all. This is just writing to disk. Hello is fine here, right? Okay, it showed up on the top. I'm not looking at that, but getting messages twice. We are getting a lot of garbage here as well. So I'm not sure what is up. Let's run this here. Go run main.go. Yeah, it's still printing these things out. So we are getting this is fine. This is, let's get rid of this thing, printlns. What else do we have? That is writing to the screen. We have a parsed message here. Let's get rid of this as well. Yeah, this is fine. This is all right. Everything else looks fine. So how about we, okay, let's start it. Okay, let's do a pkill first, and on this window it's stuck. We do a echo, right, and then start the go app here. Okay, this looks fine. We'll do a hey, that shows up on the chat, and then if I do bytes ls, we see the parsed messages on the screen. Now if we go to the file, okay, this sort of takes over the key commands. Okay, but yeah, I think like on the file side, I think we are writing the content as it comes in, so I think it's fine. It's working as expected, but the code has sort of taken a turn for the worse, I feel, especially in the main.go. Like I see like a lot of convoluted code here. We have this I think the parser's responsibility and the file save responsibilities need to be sort of fixed in a way that yeah, the way we call parse, right, like I don't think it should require a go routine. I'm not sure, but I think like we are just writing this to a channel, right? it's already happening in a go routine, but the same go routine is looping over all the messages. So if it writes over to that channel, that still shouldn't block from what I can think of, but let's see. So as soon as I start this, I do bytes ls, I get this message which is parsed, which is good. I do like I think like we figured that bit out, that it doesn't need to be where is the okay so if I do this thing or rather this window, right? So if it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be a go routine, right? So in that case it can just return back a channel. So this can be the return, and we can make a channel here. Although if we make a channel here, right, so this thing will always return a value. So does it even need to be a channel? I think it doesn't really matter. Let's make a channel for now, but yeah, we'll think through this. Channel of string, this is called parsed chan, right, and we return this at the very bottom. Return parsed. We don't need to name this here. I think that should be it, and then we go back to main. This will return back a channel. That again is the same thing. Like I think like if we have a channel here, it's easier because this channel will sort of not get created every time, right? So that way it seems a better option. Or the other option is to just I think like this is a better option, but the concerns are sort of spread out in multiple places, like in the main function and also in other areas. Message and for example does return back a channel. The problem is that we can't consume like there can't be two readers from a single channel. I think that is how channels are, right? Like you can multiple things like multiple, if you pull from the channel twice, I think like it will pull out two values, not just one value. So I think this is fine. I think like I'm fine with this this way right now. So I'll just get rid of this, go to parse. This again becomes a argument, right? This would be called parse chan, and then we get rid of this, we get rid of the return. Right, this looks fine now. Yeah, I think that's all right. Then we have this thing, write message. I think like it's not I think yeah, let's keep it write message, but then let's do all of the again like I think like we are running into the same problem, that because it's in a loop and we keep calling it again and again, it will create files. So how do we deal with that? I'm thinking that if we keep a reference of file, but then we'll have to create a file outside, so that doesn't help. We can do a sync.once, but that I feel is not the best solution, because it should account for if the file for say this date is already present or not. The problem here is that we are arranging over the messages channel. Okay, what else can we do here? I think we can leave it like this for now. That is the best course of action for this. And this is what it does, right? So it takes in a file and a message. So this would be a file and a message, right? So this would be not a connection. File the message. So I think like write message is just overly complicated. So right now we'll just get rid of it, and to this we'll also pass the parse channel. So this is what we are doing right now. We are reading messages, we are parsing them, we are storing them in a file as well, and then we are building a TUI around it. So let's see. Let's kill this, do a go run main.go, or let's empty the file, right? Let's see. Let's do go run main.go. This will start up this thing. We'll do hey. That doesn't show up here. That is something I want to eventually add, but if I do hello from here, okay, it's showing up. And I think like we can trigger every other command, I think, as well. Like we can do like bytes random.
उसके मेरे पास जो बीवी है, जब से मुझे बचपन में बीवी है, वही एक है. उसके अलावा दर्जनों बीवियां हैं.
Okay, so this works fine. So I think like we can sort of move on. Let's not worry too much about it right now. So if we go to readme, so we are, yeah, we didn't validate what the chat log looks like. Okay, we need to fix the chat log. Yeah. Hello and go, right? So it does writes wrote. Okay, I think like let's fix the writing part. So let's get rid of I think we got rid of truncation, right? Like we were doing that in write message, that we had already disabled sync. So shouldn't it be writing more details, or do I need to shut the program? Let's close this all out. If I close this, if I go to chat.log always has one item, right? And why is that? Let's see. I think it's probably because it is in a loop. Yeah, it's in a loop. So this should happen somewhere here, right? And then we keep writing to it. So let's see this bit. Let's go over to 3. Let's make it bigger. Let's split it. Do a tail, right? And then do a go run main.go. We get all these messages. We do hey, we do bytes. Bytes is not a command, so we'll do bytes ls, and we'll just quit, right? So if I go over here, quit this, and then do a chat.log, yeah, I think it's persisting fine. I don't know why we get this chat log. This file got truncated. I think it got truncated because, yeah, I see, and that is why it was truncating, because we are creating file again and again. So I think we don't want to truncate it. Let's close this one out. Let's go to this one. Yeah, so we only want to create a file if the file doesn't already exist. So we'll have to see like Golang file exists. I think like there's a exists thing, os.exists, something like that. Let's see, os.exist. Okay, I think like we have to do like a if error is equal to os.exists, error exists, something like this, I think, right? Okay, there's okay, we do a os.start and then do is not exist. So I don't want to print this. So you do a start, you do a nil, and this okay, I think what we can do is we can simply do first we do os.start, check for the date of today. We'll have to figure out like how do we get the date for today, and then we do like if error is not or rather if error is equal to os dot is not exist. In that case we'll just do this thing here, right? We do want to keep a reference outside of it, or in that case is not equal to this thing. Let's add a if in front of it. If this thing, right, if the error is not this thing, then we sort of, I'm a bit confused like what's the best pattern and go. So if we do like if error is that it doesn't exist, then we just create a file. So we'll do create a file, otherwise we just read the file, right? So how do we still have to read the file. So we'll do like let, or sorry, var fos dot file, a pointer to it, right? So the file is not exist, right? So then what we do is we do like os dot create date, and then from this we get f and error, and then if there is an error is not equal to nil, we just do log dot fatal. Let me close this. Okay, so this is one of the cases. Error is not defined, right? So this, okay, this would give us back an error, right? I think this should be fine, or does it not give us back an error? Oh, it gives us back a file and an error. Okay, that's interesting. So all it's saying is that file is declared but not used, so we don't redefine it. Okay, os.create data as os.file info. Okay, so this is file info, so we don't need this here, we don't need the info for it. We'll just probably do this, and here what we are doing is if error, it's saying that compare error to this thing. Okay, so the way we do it is it's actually a function, right? So you pass to it this will probably return a boolean, right? So if not exist is true, then we create a file here down below. And then if it fails, then we throw an error, right? So otherwise we just do what do we do in that case? We have created the file already. We just use it then, right? This is all of it, I think. If file doesn't exist, then we check if it's then we just create it and then we start writing to it. So let's rename this, and this should actually be called chat.log, right? Then go over here to a echo and then tail, and come over here and start the application. Do a hello, do a bytes ls. Yeah, the file isn't getting written to, so that is a problem. Why is that happening? Is it not getting the message? Okay, it's not writing the messages to the chat. Why is that? Is it the reference to the file? I think we are using the F here, so that should have worked. What if we do rm-rf chat.log, do a stop this here, let's see if it creates this file. Chat.log is created. Let's do a tail-f, do a hello here. That is fine, that wouldn't anyways say anything. Let's do a hello here, hello comes in. Let's do bytes ls, that comes in on the file as well. I think it's working fine. What did we change then? Did I change anything? I don't think we changed anything. It looks fine. Okay, so let's now do time format Golang. I think there's just time, right? Like there's no date package. So we do want to do a format on this. There's month. Is there a format or something? There's a format. We pass it a layout string. Okay, so something like this. It gives us back a string. Example would be helpful. What is do here? Do is just a function that takes a name, layout, and want. It's a lot of things. So basic short date is something we want like around that. But even in that case I think like full date, short date. Okay, so we do like name we don't need, layout we want. Okay, okay, so let's not worry too much here. Let's just do time dot format. Is it? Oh, so we do need time dot now maybe. Okay, so this gives us back what does it give us back? It gives us back time, so on that we call format. This takes in, okay, there goes my camera. We need a format string, right? So something like what's the format string we pass in for basic short date? This requires want, right? So this would be let's say 02 dash 12 dash I'm not sure if this would work, but yeah, let's give it a go. So this gives us back now a string, so this would be date, I guess, and then we'll just use it for the just use date plus dot log. Date plus dot log. Hopefully this does work, so let's give it a go. So is a file created? Let's close this window. Yeah, there's a file created called but yeah, this is all messed up, like it's 828. I don't know what that means, but let's see if it has the values. At least here it has the value, so let's fix this. Go to main.go right here, and then the formatting is not correct. I think the way it uses layout is like it uses layout for the format, and then what is font. Okay, I'm not sure, but yeah, layout I think we can change to look something like, I don't know how they sort of figure out like what is the month and what is the other part. Okay, let's see like if there's a simpler answer somewhere. Format a time or date. Okay, so there's an input, that's the layout. We do a parse on this. Okay, yeah, we want something like this, right? So the go layout for can I do date first? Yeah, we can do date. So this would be, but I don't want Jan explicitly. Can I have the date only? The month in numbers, that would have helped. So we want dd mm and then 4 y's. Golang. Let's see how to format. Yeah, this is exactly what we want, but I'm not sure if this is go. Yeah, this is go. So it says like, yeah, exactly what we are doing here, right? Let's just do 0 1. I'm not sure why it has to be 1. So this runs, this will probably create a file. So let's see what's the file name called. Yeah, 08 is fine. This is messed up. I think it has to be 2006. If that is the case, then they have like a really weird way to handle this. unless, or at least like I don't know like what they are expecting. But let's see. So if we look at it, yeah, I think like this one is fine. So what we'll do is we'll just get rid of all the log files. Right, now if I do you can just directly go run main.go. Let's say 1, right? That's the only thing that will store. Okay, so we'll exit this, right? And then if we cat this file out, cat out this file, we just get 1 here. Now let's start it again. This time we'll always get the initial messages. So but yeah, we want to see like if it's appending correctly. So now if I do again, so it should have, no, it didn't write to it at all. And why is that? Okay, yeah, I think this is the part I was wondering what I'm missing here. So here I'm creating the file, but what if the file already exists, right? So we want is reading files, not writing files. So what we want is reading files. So it would be os.open, right? Which is something we weren't doing earlier. So we'll do os.open and we'll give it the same thing over here, plus .log, and this will give us back I think error in file. So we can just copy at least this bit over, paste it here. But then yeah, this is also important to see that let me do this first. So fn error, right? So error is not defined. Hopefully it uses the same if. So in this case if the file doesn't exist, if not exist, it will just skip over it. It will open the file. I thought of a scenario where it might break, but I'm forgetting it. So let's run this. Right, so let's do go run main.go. Let's do 2 because earlier 2 didn't work. We got the 2 here. Let's see, let's print out our file. Yeah, not saving that here either. So I think like the problem here is that the reference to f is not correct. Okay, I think you could probably use the error here as well. So we can just use this thing over here, file error, same thing here and here. I'm not sure if this is a go way to do it, but yeah, I'm just doing this on the top of my head. I think at least this should get it working. Let's run it. Let's do a tail. Yeah, we'll do a tail.f on 28 this file. Let's send in a 2 no dice. We get a 2 here. It's not writing to the file, so let's figure that out. Okay, so if now that the file exists, right, if yeah, this will only run if there is an error. and if there's an error we just create a file, otherwise it does nothing. So we just try to open this file, assign the file to F. If there's an error we assign the error to file error. If there's an error we log the error, and that is it, right? So that should have worked. If I do like ioutil dot read all to above F, and then this will give us back a slice of bytes. We'll do fmt.println string, go to the very end, right? What's wrong here? It gives us bytes and errors. Okay, yeah, this is not going to be easy, so let's not do this. And then we are just okay, does open require any additional parameters to sort of for us to be able to write to it? I don't think so. You're just opening a file, right? So that should be fine. There's no defer in this file. Okay, there's a defer here. Oh, okay, why is there a defer here in the loop? That is like a very weird place to place it. Okay, that was weird, like it shouldn't have been there. Okay, let's give it one more go. I don't know if we change anything significant, but let's see. Let's do go run main.go. Send in another 2. We got the 2 here. Let's see if we have it in our chat. We don't. It's not writing to chat at all. That is the problem. Let's remove this file, right? Do a go run main.go again. Then because we have removed the file, let's start with 1. Log this out. Okay, now it's not writing at all. So okay, yeah, you know the problem, we create the file in case it doesn't exist, but we shouldn't be doing an else, right? So we should be doing an or rather we should be doing an else here, because like if we are creating the file, why are we sort of opening the file again? That's it, like I don't think it should break anything. Why does it say this? Because there shouldn't be a colon here. Okay, that's fine. Let's try this out. Right, so let's do a tail here. Send in a 1. No, this is already empty. That's that in itself is a problem. Right, let's do rm-rf. Did that remove the file? Yeah. Let's do a main. So let's see, does it create the file twice, or so the file at this time doesn't exist, right? So we'll say like fmt println creating, and this would be opening. So this will, okay, because we have the 2, we can't see it, so it's not good, but this time it's working fine. Then we see creating now. We open it again, right? Let's do a cat. Okay, it's empty now. So why is this empty? If the file already existed, why is it empty? And if I close this, it says opening, so that is fine. Opening is fine. So it didn't do creating in this case, so it just opened the file and then it wrote to it, right? So how do we write to the file that it appends, rather than I think that might be the problem, right? Like we are not when we are writing to it, I think we are not appending, maybe. So let's see, appending to a file and go. Okay, you open it and then we do a write string. Okay, we are doing a write instead. I think that overrides it, but we are not doing that. We are just doing fm. Yeah, but I think like that might do that. So let's do instead f dot write. So let's do f dot write string, pass it the message, and that should be it. Besides the fact that it could throw errors. Let's just handle the error. If error is not equal to nil, we'll just say fmd.println failed to write string write message to the file. This is good enough. Why is this still complaining? Cannot initialize. It requires two values, is it? No. Oh, I'm not sure what the issue is now. It says cannot initialize one variable with two values. What are the two values? Oh, okay, yeah, something like this. We don't need the bytes read. And I think open also, I'm not sure like what open does by default. So doesn't it require open file is name open opens the named file. It successfully, if the successful is method, it returns a file for reading it. So reading file, and okay, yeah, this is the problem, right? Like it's only read only. So that I'm not sure how this was working, but we want open file. This takes in permissions, right? So this is what we want. We want permissions. It requires a flag, and then it requires permissions. Specialized flags o underscore read only, and then file mode. So this could be, where is open file here, right? This would be os dot o append, and then this would be 0766. I'm not sure why create doesn't require any of this. Create creates and truncates a file name. If the file already exists, it's truncated. The file does not exist, it creates a file with the mode, okay, 0666. If successful method returns read write. Okay, we should do the same thing, 666 and read write. This should be read write, and then this should be the devil here. Okay, so let's run this. Let's get rid of the chart, right, so that we don't have a chart file here. We do a go run main.go, go to the other tab, tail out the file. So far so good. Do a 1, do a 2, do a 3. So this is the first run. Then we shut it down, we start it again, right? We go back to tail. So it appended. Did it append? I don't know whether it appended or not, but like we can do like 4, 5 and 6. So I can close this file out now. Let's just cat it out. Okay, yeah, it's still not okay. I think like one change I need to make is change it from read write to append, because our case is append, right? So let's try with this thing. Let's go to stop the server, do a echo. No, let's just remove the files, do a go run right over here let's do a tail, right? So this is fine for now. Do a 1. We have the 1 here. Let's close this off, start it back again. Tail is still working. It says like immediately file truncated. Okay, fail to write message to file, fail to write message. The same thing over and over again. So is it the same error? Fail to write. Okay, I think like we have a explicit message here. Failed to write. Yeah, somewhere here failed to write. So this happens here when you do a write string on the file. Why is that? Here is there a like a f dot append something? No. So this is basically like open a file. We have opened a file somewhere. Why are we doing OS create here? That's crazy. Okay, that was all wrong there. This is still throwing errors, but then why was that there? Now it's throwing a very different error, like when opening. Yeah, the opening is correct actually. Let's open it again. So we do a open file, we put in a name, we put in OS append, and then we put in the permissions. Then we do a defer close on file. Then we do a write string, and that's it. Why not 666? I thought it's a better default. Maybe a stupid question, but why would I need both? It works. So let's see the other example. So they do like open file. I think like we need this additional flag. Do we? OS dot. Oh, nice. I think like this handles both the cases. Like if the file doesn't exist, it creates it or appends to the file. So it's create and then write only. So yeah, that is nice. I think if we do this, we can probably just get rid of all of this here as well. So that would be nice if that is how it works. And then we do like f dot write. Okay, so they say like suggest like doing f dot write, but we are doing a write string, so that is fine. I think like this would internally do the write. Yeah. So let's try this out. Do a rm go run. Nothing happens. No, happens. Something happens. At least. So we again get an empty file, which is fine because we truncated it manually. We get a 1. We go over here, stop the program, start it again. This shouldn't truncate the file, that is all. 1, no, it didn't get truncated, which is nice. So if I do 2, then I stop the program, do a cat on this thing. So we have 1 here, we have 2 here. Yeah, this is working fine. So this is quite interesting that we do like open file and then we can sort of manage multiple actions from here rather than just doing it separately. This sort of saved us some lines of code. So and then the sort of the error handling and all of that was really confusing as well. So I can probably just do like, I don't even need this thing. I can just do err here, error here, and then we can get rid of these two references as well. Yeah, our code is a lot more nicer than this than before, so that's actually good. Okay, I think we are fine now. So we are storing logs and they are getting updated. So let's maybe do, yeah, I think like what we should do is also create a directory, right? So we'll do os.make dir okay, let's do it later on. Let's add it to the readme. So we are doing maintaining chat logs now, so we are parsing messages as well. I think we should handle the pong message now. To do's is spelled wrong. Right, so okay, so now let's take a look at, we had a pong message stored somewhere, I think, or do we not? Yeah, okay, I think like in that case let's just because like I'm not sure when the pong message would run, so let's just store the chat messages in a directory rather than in the root of the project, right? So I think we can do that in an init function. This requires a lot of refactoring, but yeah, let's do it in a future stream. For now, let's just do os.make dir, and the string would be logs, right? I'm not sure what other values it takes in, but let's see. So this requires, I think like some permissions would at least be required, so this would be 066. But my only concern is that like, does it check if the file directory already exists, or like what does it do in that case? It does a syscall to create a directory with these given permissions. That is fine. Okay, let's try this out. So all we are saying is like make a directory. This will give us back an error, so let's handle that error so that we can see how it fails. If error is not equal to nil, log.fatal. That's all right. So we do a go run main.go. This time it's fine. It would have created a logs directory. Now if we run it for the second time, it says like exists, right? So I think we want to check out like if the directory already exists, so we'll do like I think we can do like was.starts here again. Let's see like if I think if not exists is helpful in this case, I think, unless they have yeah, yeah, I think that the other option is also like something we can try out, but yeah, I think let's do it the right way. So we do like os.stat, we give it logs, and then os.is not exists, we pass it the error. In that case we do this this thing, and this would be if error, something like this should be okay. But what is it not happy about? Like, does it give us back two things? Okay, that's fine, we can ignore this thing. Yeah, I think it's fine now. If I do like a go run main.go, yeah, directly jumps to that. So if we do like yeah, I think like before we do that, we also need to do we need to open the correct file, which would be logs slash plus this thing. This is for creating, or no, it's for both the scenarios, right? So let's do rm-rf star.log and then ls logs directory. Yeah, that's empty too. So let's do a go run main.go. Okay, we're getting a permission denied for some reason. It cannot open a file in here. Let's see. So it's 666 creating problems. Is it? How about now? No. So this has I think this has the decent permission it requires. Okay. Okay, this is fine. Let's look at logs. This file is fine. Now start the server again. Do 1 2 3, that should be sufficient. Do a cat on this again. Yeah, I think it's working fine. I think the earlier directory had some issues, although yeah, there's execute permission here on this now. I'm not sure how execute is required, but yeah, I think it's working. And there's a read here as well. So what's the permission on the log file for that matter? Yeah, okay, it has limited, like it's just missing the D here, directory, and then the X. That's all. Okay, but this is working fine. So is there something we need to mark in our readme? No. So I think that is okay. All right. Yeah, I think let's add to the git ignore. Let's add the logs directory. That way we don't have to worry about it. Parse messages, parse and store messages, right? That should be good. Now if you look at main, or rather the readme, I think we need to handle pong. We need to refactor, right? And then I think like these two things we can do in our next stream tomorrow. It's already been a 2.5 hour stream, so yeah, I think that should be good enough. Update readme. Can't do neither the vim. Okay, this is really okay, but just happened. I can't do clear, delete, word. Can I do? No, none of that works. Just write update, readme, just push it up. Okay, all right. I think that's it for today, folks. I think we have made some progress in here, and hopefully we'll have something that can handle a few more scenarios now that we have the parser going. So yeah, catch you guys tomorrow.